Boys, make sure to drop a like on the video, or else this is what's gonna happen to you and Fall Guys. Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy here, Delphix, back at it again with another video. I know you guys are probably like, whoa, it's been a year, buddy. Where you been? Where you been? Where you at? It's alright though, we're back. We streaming, we uploading. It's all good. Come back to the channel. And I just wanted to tell you guys that yes and no, I have been gone for a while, but it's alright because I have a new game I'm playing and a new game I'm uploading, and I think you guys are really gonna enjoy the content. Today in this video, I'm gonna be helping you guys in any challenge in Fall Guys, tips and tricks, anything you guys need help with. Every single challenge, I got something for you to help you win more crowns. Now, before we get right into this video, I just want to say, make sure to drop a like on the video. It is insanely appreciated since we're just dropping new content, and I need to see if you guys like the stuff I'm uploading or not. Also, make sure to subscribe if you're new, and let's get into it. Alright, so the first one we're going to be talking about is Seesaw, and in this one, the most important thing is being in the front at all times. I am telling you, if you are in the front of this game mode, it is by far the easiest challenge in the game. If you're in the back, you're completely reliant on teammates, and it is very, very, very hard to qualify. Another huge tip in Seesaw is being with the crowd. If you are with the crowd, or at least the biggest crowd, then you are most likely going to have the best opportunity to just keep going. Because if you're behind and you're not with anyone, everyone is going to be on the wrong side that you need to get everyone on, and you won't be able to get anywhere. Because they're all going to be jumping from the other side, and it's not going to balance, and you're not going to be able to get there. It's not worth it, trust me. If you are behind, then you 100% want to be up with the crowd. I'd also like to say that another huge one with this game mode is actually knowing how a seesaw works. I know, you'd be surprised. Alright, so next up is the Whirlygig, and in my opinion, the Whirlygig is one of the easier challenges in the game. And look, I know that most YouTubers in the beginning would say, oh, don't jump. You want the thing, you want the little swing thingies to push you and shove you forward. But I've tried this multiple times. It is completely based on luck on the other ones. Like, here, I'll just show you it for myself. Now, as you can see, this is basically what's going to happen to you if you keep trying to do this every single match. I completely recommend just jumping. It is the safest thing to do. Now for the next one, for this stage, I would recommend just going up and jumping on the box and jumping on the other one. But as you can see, if you are in the middle or maybe even the back, I do not recommend doing this because you are going to get shoved off, and it is not a safe idea if you want to qualify. I would completely recommend just going up to the wall and jumping and holding RT or R2. Maybe you didn't know that. I didn't even know it the first week I started playing the game, but just go up to the big wall, jump, and you'll get it every time, and you'll be all good. Once you've gotten past that, honestly, just play the map more, and you'll start to learn the patterns of the turbines, and that will help you a lot getting past that part. So for this last and final part, the middle turbine, I always recommend going on the left side, because the left side is the least likelihood of you getting caught. Well, unlike I just did, but I'm telling you, if you do that, it's the least likelihood of you getting caught in it. And if you do it once or twice and it does not work, I always recommend just going on the left side or right side path to finish the race. Now next is Hit Parade, and Hit Parade is a challenging yet easy map, and it has a lot of different obstacles in it, but once you've mastered all of them, this should be one of the really, really easy challenges for you. So for this first part, honestly, it really doesn't matter if you fall off like I just did, because you're really not going to be that far behind, so I might as well just skip it. So for this next stage, I'm telling you, the middle is always, always, always where you want to go. The sides are not the move. You have to go through the middle because all the crowds are usually going through there, and that's what everyone does. So it'll always help you. Now for the swinging balls, it's always about knowing your surroundings and where the balls are coming from, because one little mistake and you are done for. So just take some time, practice it, get better at it, and you'll do fine. Lastly, always make sure that you're on the side of the bumpers, because remember, they can't hit you from there. Always make sure you're on one of the sides. Alright, so next we got Dizzy Heights. Now, if you're spawning in the middle, I would always just recommend just running kind of like along the middle, just kind of following the arrows. But the best route, in my opinion, is on the sides, because it always leads you to the best arrow route. And as long as you're not jumping, you should be fine. Now, in this next stage, my biggest recommendation is, instead of running along the lanes like most people do, I recommend just swerving the ball like by going through the block like I just did in the video, because it saves you much more time. Now, right here, I always recommend going on the right path, because it's a little bit faster because of that last spinner. But as long as you're jumping through and practicing a little bit, you should always be fine. Now, for this last part, I really don't have a huge tip or trick for you. I would just recommend always sticking to the sides at the very end, so that the ball does not come for you and roll you over just when you're about to finish. Now we got DoorDash, and DoorDash is easily my least favorite game mode in this whole game, just because it's way too based on luck. But there's still a few things that will help you secure the dub. So when you're playing DoorDash, the main thing that you want to do is try and get in front of the clump. You want to get in front of all the other people, or at least not be a part of them, because if you're a part of them and you're trying to go through a door on your own, it might take you 20 seconds just to get through one door. It's bad. It's really bad. It's sometimes how I even lose games, and just trust me, you want to be in front of people. Now, there's one tip to DoorDash that's really helpful, and I know a lot of YouTubers have already stated it, but I'll state it for the ones that haven't known about it yet. The last 2 layers, you actually will be able to tell which doors are the fake ones by 2 ways. You can tell from the lower of the eyes will be lower, or the bottom triangle will be lower. Now, gate crash is a hard one, because in this one there's not many tips I can give you guys, but I'd say the biggest one I can tell you is that if you're going to a door, right, if you're committed to one door and it doesn't time right and you're getting blocked, do not just keep switching back to back doors. It'll not help you. You just need to go commit to one door, stay there, because if you think about it, it'll just come right back down. You're only losing about a second of time, and trust me, it'll work a lot better in your favor. Another thing I want to state is, while you're going through the doors, always look to go through the middle door. And I'm not always talking about the first 2 layers. I'm talking about the four door stages. Always try and look to go through the middle, because that'll be your best option, and those ones open the easiest. Now, same thing goes for Fruit Chute. Honestly, there's not like a huge like thing that will just help you win every single time. The biggest thing, though, I would say, is always sticking to the sides. Always, no matter what. If you're sticking to the sides and not in the middle, you completely de-risk your chance of getting caught by a log. And it's by far just like honestly no fruit really comes near you if you're on the sides, and I just think it's way easier. So next up we got Tiptoe, and Tiptoe is one of those challenges, honestly, where it's just like you don't need to play aggressive at all. I would say completely play aggressive at the beginning. Always play aggressive at the beginning, because what's the point of just standing there and just waiting for other people to do it when you can get the match to go faster? But when you get to those last 4 layers, I'd say I would start playing slower. Maybe just not like let your teammates do it. It kind of depends on the situation you're in, but yeah, I would kind of just let the other teammates do it for you and see what the outcome is. Bonus tip for this one: if you see a tile shaking, it means it's fake. Alright, so now guys, for Slime Climb, I'm going to give you the safest route, but also the most efficient route, so that you're always passing Slime Climb, because this is a very hard challenge. For the first part, you're either going up on that little ledge right there, bumping up, or you're just going straight around, because trust me, if you can just keep trying the ledge, it's eventually you're just gonna die like that dude right there. Now, what I recommend here is, if there's not that many people here, try and jump up like I just did, but I just jumped at a wrong time. If you keep failing there, I'd say try it maybe twice. If it just keeps not working for you, go around and just do the other way, because it might be a little bit too crowded. Here, I'm always just running along the sides, just making sure that the bumper doesn't push me off. It's not too hard. Just be smart about it and you'll be fine. With this part, I always recommend being on the left side, not the right. I just tend to see more people on the right side, and it's less crowded, so might as well. So when you're doing this part, this last part, I would stay on the left side 100%, not the right, because you can get kicked off if you just look at that dude. He just got kicked off, but always stay on the left there, and just right here, just use the same tactics so you didn't hit parade, and you should be chilling. Now, perfect match is a little bit different because it's one of those things that you kind of just need to do it on your own, but I'll give you a few things that might help you out secure the double on this one. For me, I've always felt that it helped me when I always have a bird's eye view, kind of like this, where I can see all the panels. I feel like it always just helps me out. The other thing that really helps me out on this one is always speaking out loud what fruit I'm sitting on. That always helps me kind of remember what the order is and how everything is. Final tip for this one is if you're really on a block and there's no one else with you, it is always safe to just go where everyone else is if you're really not 100% sure. Next is jump club, and jump club, my biggest tip is after this first jump, your very first jump, literally follow the green bar. If you're following the green bar, you will not have to worry about anything for a good 20 seconds until it finally starts getting a little bit faster, and then just play the game normally. You should be fine, and yeah, that's the biggest tip I can give you. Now, when it comes to block party, this is one of those ones where for the first minute, I would say probably just don't be an idiot and you will not die. Now, when you get to the challenging part, I would most likely just stick in the front. And if you're in the front, no one can kind of bump you off like towards the end. And if you're in the front, it is more likely for you to survive and just go through all the challenges quickly. And that should make you take the dub. All right, so next up is rollout, and rollout, another survival one. I would basically say just be as safe as possible. If you're just not being like if you're being a little like trying to do everything you can and being brave and all that, like it's not going to help you out trying to jump every single obstacle. I never jump in this game mode. The biggest thing I would do is just kind of run along each side. And if you're on a side that is just basically not having any sort of challenges in your way, just keep running the opposite direction. You'll save some time for yourself and just wait for other people to get out, honestly, because that'll just be your best bet. So now we are transitioning into the team games. And for the team games, we're starting with Hoopsie Daisy. Now, my biggest tip for this game mode is always trying to separate yourself from your other teammates. If you have like half of your team just stuck together, bunched together, and you're all trying to go for the same one, it will not work out. Stay as far away as possible probably to anyone, honestly. Just kind of try and be on your own so that no one else can kind of take your rings, and just play smart. The biggest thing I would do if you're using any of the ramps is dive instead of jumping, because it's a lot easier to get through. But if you're trying to go through one really fast, just jump and dive. It's a lot better. Now, doing tail tag, the biggest thing about this one is if you actually have a tail on you or you start with a tail, the best route and to not be found is by going in the central area and kind of spinning around in circles. I don't do it in the video because I didn't learn this myself until after, but still, I always would just go in the middle and no one would be able to find me because it's its own little thing. No one can find you there and it's hard to see anyone. But if you don't have a tail, I would always recommend either just going in the middle like central or just trying to cut someone off. It's really easy, and just make sure that people aren't like kind of getting in your way and stuff. Make sure you have your own little route that's going to help you out. Now, when it comes to Jinxed is a really similar game mode to tail tags. So basically, if you're not Jinxed yet, the main thing you're doing is just running as much as possible, jumping as much as you possibly can. If you see anyone that isn't really Jinxed, that's that's who you want to be around. And if you are Jinxed, most people that are not Jinxed, I tend to find spinning on the little, like the spinny thing. That's where you want to go if you are already infected. And yeah. Now next is fall ball, and fall ball is a very, very, very team oriented game. So if you have bad teammates, you are going to lose, period. So the way to prevent this is by always filling in positions that are not filled in already. If there's too many people on offense, play defense. If there's too many people on defense, play offense. Everyone that at least knows a little bit about soccer knows that there's got to be at least one defender, one person middle, and one striker. And another tip I'd also say is if you're in the middle and your team has just scored, or the other team has just scored, a really, really good thing to do is try and strike the ball. And it's a really hard thing to get used to, but once you've gotten used to it, it is so overpowered in this game mode. Now, I only have one really small tip for Hoarders, because this game mode, in my opinion, is kind of just completely based on luck, because the map layout is kind of weird, but I think the best thing that you should do to prevent your team from losing is whoever is in last place, play defense for their team. You want to try and prevent them from getting any balls into their zone as possible, because it doesn't matter if your team wins, you just want the other team to lose. And if your team is in last place, I mean, you're gonna need some teamwork. You might want to suggest playing with friends or some other people, because teamwork is really essential in this game. And if you're trying to get one ball away from someone else when you got 5 other people from the other team trying to defend it, it won't work out. And yeah, that's what I think. So for team tail tag, this one is pretty short, but if you have a tail on you, I always recommend just running around like the square perimeter, because not a lot of people will be without a tail will be running there, because they're going to be sort of like on the central moving area, and the people with tails are sort of going to be kind of where you are running. And that's definitely what I recommend if you have a tail. If you don't have a tail, again, I would just go on the turbine and run the opposite way, or kind of hide behind one of the walls, and if someone's coming towards you, then definitely go and take their tail. Alright, so next up we got Egg Scramble. An Egg Scramble, I cannot tell you guys this enough. The most important thing in Egg Scramble is right at the beginning, when you're trying to get as many eggs in your basket as possible. I'm telling you guys right now, if you get as many eggs in the basket as possible, you're most likely not going to lose, because the team that is losing in the beginning is going to get ganged up on by both other teams. And trust me, I played enough Egg Scramble games to just realize this on my own. Any team that's losing is going to get ganged up on, and that's just a fact. Another huge tip for this one too is not just focusing on one golden egg for the whole round. I know that it can be really, really like you just really want to go for it because it's worth like 5 eggs, I think. But trust me, there's going to be like 10 other people going for that one, and it's really just not worth it, because the chances of you getting it singular into your basket are so low. It is so much smarter to just go for other baskets' eggs, especially the team that's losing, or maybe even just seeing any eggs that come out of nowhere and you just want to go for those. Now, Rock and Roll is another game mode that's honestly really similar to Egg Scramble by the way that you have to be in front at the beginning. If you're the first team that gets it across the ledge, you're most likely going to win, because the other teammates or the other teams are going to be too much focusing on their ball, and they're not going to be trying to defend your ball. So that's like a really, really important tip that I have for you guys, because if you're in last place, it is not a good position. Another really small tip I have for this one also is making sure that if you have a lot of people pushing the ball, you should probably be the one that's steering the ball, because not many people are going to be steering it, and they're going to be kind of stupid and just like throwing it into different barriers and walls, and you just want to have teamwork. And again, this is one of those ones that you probably want to have a friend with you. So now we're at the 4 final rounds, starting with Hex-A-Gone. And Hex-A-Gone is a game mode that you need to play one or two ways. You need to play it passive or aggressive. If you're playing this game mode aggressive, you need to make sure that you're getting in front of people as much as possible, and you're running in front of their hexagons, because trust me, people can be dumb in this game mode. They don't know exactly what they're doing, and they're gonna hesitate if you get in front of them. So if you want to be aggressive, make sure you're doing it right. Also, if you're playing passive, you want to make sure that you honestly just know the map more and play it more, because knowing that, you'll be able to jump and hop and dive from basically any Hex-A-Gone that's about 2 tiles away from you, and just keep hopping and hopping and hopping, and you'll be in the front of everyone else. Now for the next final round, we got Fall Mountain, and for this one, this is probably the most skillful final round, so if you want to try and beat it, I would definitely listen carefully. Beginning this one off, always jump over the orange part. Always. No matter what, you can easily trip up on there, and you always want to jump over that. I would always recommend starting to go left, because the left path is a little bit faster than the right. I don't know why the map design made it that way, but it's always a little bit faster. Another thing here is you always want to make sure that you're hiding behind either the spinners or the diamonds, or even the walls per se, because all of those will protect you from balls, and you want to be as close to the walls as possible, so because the balls can completely ruin your race for you. Another thing you want to be doing while you're racing is looking up at the cannons to see where the balls are coming from, so you can at least try to predict where they're coming from, because playing it blindsided is just not going to help you at all. So now when you've gotten past the balls, always go through the route I'm going through, because it is the safest route, because the bumpers are always going to hit you off the wrong side if you go a different way. They're going to just hit you back, and you want them to hit you forward. So going this way is definitely the best way to go. And once you've gotten to the end, you just want to make sure that you're not going too fast, because the crown is all the way at the top, like in this video. You're not going to be able to reach it. So just be patient if you need to. Go and jump for it, and make sure you're actually pressing the grab button, because I don't want you guys to be failing these challenges if you're not pressing the grab on the crown. Just make sure you're doing that always. Now on to the next final round is Jump Showdown, and this one obviously is a lot like Jump Club, but it is also a lot harder. But I think, in my opinion, this is the easiest one, just because it's like you've already done it before. It's just a little bit harder, and my biggest tip for this one is mainly the more you play it, the better you're going to get at it. Or even the more you play Jump Club, the better you're going to get at it. Because you're going to be able to predict better at when the pillars are meeting each other. Because when they are meeting each other, that is not when you want to jump. They're going to hit you right off, and it's going to screw up your whole game for you. And yeah, you just got to be able to predict when it's going to happen, and that'll help you out for sure. So I just wanted to show you guys this example, because this is how I think you should be playing, and I won this game, so I mean, this will just show you the best results for how you should play. One final tip that I also want to give you guys is, if you're trying to grab me like this dude right here, you're gonna die. Pleb. For the last and final challenge in the game, we got Royale Fumble. In Royale Fumble, my biggest tip for you, I just have this one clip, not like a whole gameplay video, just showing you guys the dub and how I did it. Basically, just not trying to chase one from behind the whole time, just playing from behind them and going and cutting them off at the very end. Just something like that, you know? And so that is going to be it for the video today. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. I know it was a long one, but I just really feel like I had to get as many tips out to you guys, and I spent a lot of time on this video, and I just really hope that you guys appreciated it. And if you did, please make sure to drop a like on the video. It would help me so much. It would mean so much to me. And if you're new, make sure to drop a subscribe, because I make sure I will be uploading new content and streaming more, possibly, if you want me to. Whatever you want, honestly, you can just comment. But thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys in the next one. Stay tuned for more.